name is Danielle Fekier. I'm one of the co-managers at Bargain Barn Cameras. I'm here to talk about the company for a few minutes. So starting off, our company's strategy in the beginning was going to be differentiation, and our goal was to produce multiple high-end cameras as well as the entry-level cameras with upgraded features that would set ourselves apart from the competition. But later on, in about year 7, we experienced high production costs, so in order to make ourselves more competitive, we decided to go with a cost strategy, and it ended up being very beneficial. We saw our numbers rise by about 5%, so we stuck with that throughout the year. Our production strategy was an issue. Our focus at Bargain Barn was to make sure our employees are happy because they tend to work harder and be more productive if they are fairly compensated. So our production costs were high, so we had to substitute things like our cost strategy in order to make things work out well. But we figured out a medium so we can have the high production costs to pay the employees their fair wages as well as maintain a high dividend for our investors. Our motto is happy employees make productive employees, and that's a quote from Forbes. The entry-level strategy for our cameras was differentiation. We had 3 models in the beginning, all with upgraded features. And after experiencing our competition being able to do differentiation too at lower costs, we decided to switch up our mottos. We dropped down to only offering 1 camera with multiple features as opposed to multiple cameras with only limited features that would fit into our budget. So towards the end, we ended up with 1 camera with upgraded features and upgraded service and warranty on the cameras. Similar to our entry-level strategy, our multi-level cameras featured 3 cameras initially with upgraded features. We actually switched to 1 camera after year 5 and found out that it better suit us if we were able to offer a better quality camera for a lower cost. And switching to only producing 1 camera led us to be able to be competitive in the cost rather than the differentiation market. The niche market wasn't for us because our company couldn't afford the production costs as well as maintaining the 3 cameras that we were offering at that time. In our 5 years after analyzing our competitors, the transition to cost leadership made us more competitive, so we stuck with that, and we actually went from offering 3 cameras to 2 cameras and finally only actually offering 1 camera with the upgraded features that I previously mentioned. Our competition was 3 major competitors. First was Epic Cameras, A+ Cameras, and finally Demand D Cameras, and they controlled the majority of the market, and they were able to offer 2 cameras with upgraded features at a lower cost than we were. So our differentiation niche wasn't quite working out. So after we switched to the cost strategy method, we were able to become more competitive and control more of the market share. Those 3 competitors actually controlled about 70% of the market, so we were able to increase our market share by 5% towards the last year. Our credit rating was an issue towards our 8th year. Initially, we started out with a high credit rating, and here at Bargain Barns, credit is a very important thing. So when we saw our credit starting to drop, we made sure we were paying off our loans on time as well as trying to do things to improve our credit rating. So towards the year 11, we were able to increase our credit rating back to a B plus where it should have been, but our projected credit rating is gonna hopefully go up in the next year if our numbers are correctly calculated. Our return on equity has actually often been high. We only experienced difficulties in year 9 where it kind of shot down for a little bit, but we were able to readjust things and with a high credit rating. Our return on equity was about 50%, and we actually experienced 3 years where we're in the top 100 companies with high return on equity amounts. Our stock prices rose steadily. Within the 6 years we were operating, we were able to gradually increase our credit rating, and it ended up topping off at about 109 in year 11. Our image rating is also a very big factor for us because we want to become something that's looked at by the community as a trustworthy company. So when we saw our image starting to fall, we readjusted our numbers and our calculations in order to compensate for that, and we were able to get our numbers back up at the end of year 11. Our net revenues were pretty much consistently rising. We didn't experience any lows. Each year we gradually grew, so our projected numbers for our net revenue are pretty much constant in growth. Our earnings per share also were quite high. We experienced a drastic reduction around year 9, but we were able to get our numbers up, and we topped off at about $6 per share. So talking about the things that we previously mentioned and the ways we fixed it, our projected earnings for year 12 is our EPS is going to be at about 7.38, and then hopefully in year 11 we'll be able to get our EPS to about 9.84. Our return on equity is going to be hopefully around 50.1% in year 12, and then we'll hope to get it to rise to about 54.2 in year 13. Currently our credit rating is a B, so in our projected calculations we should be about a B plus in year 12, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to that A around year 13. Our image is a little bit low right now, so we're hoping that in year 12 it'll be around 70, and then we can hopefully get it to rise to about a 78 in year 13, and hopefully in a couple of years we'll be back to the A plus where we started off at. Our stock prices are hopefully going to be around 125.3, and in year 13 we hope to see it rise to about 138. Our actions to take with the company is to restore our credit image and our ratings in order to maintain and ease our investors, and we want to meet their expectations. Like I said, the credit rating and the image rating were a little bit low. They're a little bit lower than our projected investors' expectations, so we want to get those back up. Also, we are planning to figure out a better method for our production costs to not only lower the production costs, but make it more beneficial to us to pay our employees what we're paying them, as well as make it more lucrative for our investors as well as us. The lessons we learned are that although our retained earnings are high, we think we should have focused a little bit more on our credit and image rating, because at the end of the day, the credit and the image is what's going to keep the longevity in the company and make us more competitive in the long run. So, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Should we look like we were interested in what you just said?
Can you just wave? Thank you. I appreciate that.